I could definitely see where Maniac was coming from, thinking that Avant did definitely have a really good shot at winning this game, because that was incredibly close, and I'm expecting more of the same here on Nuke.
Yeah, starting T-side on Nuke, I don't feel like that's such a big detriment anymore. I mean, even if you want to go back to the first match that they had on this map, that's where actually Avant did a lot of their work. For now, though, a lot of trades back and forth. Still going to be favoring Grayhound, though, 4-3. Sterling usually gets the drop on Dexter, but opportunity lost. And now it's going to deal with Sicko on top of Heaven.
It's not boding well in terms of the pistol round. They still have a P250, so they have the extra firepower in the hands of Jira, who had some fleeting moments. And speaking of which, he's found Sicko and tags him down to 22. That's probably not good enough, though. Avant needed that quick kill.
Let's see if Soju can find anything, though. Off the back of being let through, at the very least, towards ramp. Wins out the duel versus Dexter, so some space created, and there's still time here. So, Jira, if you can stay alive, there is room to be had, and that's actually going to allow them to get a bomb plant down. So, all things considered, given where the state of affairs was, take that as a bit of a win for Avant.
And Soju going to keep the door open just to allow him the opportunity to play some mind games and dart around the periphery of the site.
Well, yeah, he might not be aware of the fact that they have Diffuse Kit, though, readily available. That's committed to the peak, at least.
Yeah, Sicko was like, cheers, mate. Just saved his life. Big bodyguard moves from Dick Stacy. Because Sicko was low. I think he's on 20 health or something.
Yeah, he was within, like, one-shot range of that Glock. So, definitely needed. Keeping players alive obviously would have been hard to go from that point on, even if you were to find Sicko. Weapon round in the bag for Greyhounds. But yeah, Avant able to get 9 rounds on the T set of Nuke last time these two teams played each other. So maybe they do have something special in store. Always curious to see how teams decide to go about their T sides nowadays. We're seeing less and less of this cookie cutter wall of smokes out yard, and they're just kind of hanging out and lower to see what kind of rotations you find. Sicko using the Zaiwu spot by the stairs to find Soju for an opening.
Not sure about that, Avant. Just walking out with no flashes or smokes when you know Sicko is there.
Hoping for the best, right?
Yeah, I mean, that really is a roll of the dice, and it's not worked out for them. You could argue they were running out of utility anyway, and Haz is not really with the rest of the team. He was perched up in ramp with a bomb. Either way, whichever way you spin it, Grayhound in a phenomenal shape in this round at the very least.
Yeah, a few more rifles being brought to the second round bye than what we've seen out of them in the previous games. It's doing them a whole lot of favors as well. Sure, your bank account is going to be not as fulfilled, but at least you get a round win.
There will be no ace for Sicko. Urcast has made sure that's the case. And Sicko will get his 4K though, perforating the head of Hazard and putting an end to the 4-spy.
Deal with the early shouts. Follow-up round that should be going the way of Grayhound Gaming, considering that was an investment from Avant. Not getting anything for it. Sterling just not even being able to fire off a single shot with that AK that you purchased up.
Exquisite aim though with the Orc. You can only beat what's ahead of you. He did that in style.
Good for Sicko as well to get a hot start into this. Obviously, there is, I'd say, a bit of added pressure to him, considering he's going up against the former opera of Grayhound and Sterling. So winning out that duel and getting the better of him, showing that you've made the right choice, is obviously going to feel good. Again, perched around the stairs. Doesn't actually have control over main for the time being, so it's going to allow people to slip by. Urcast is ready for it, though.
Sicko is just going to be padding them stats a little bit more. Played directly to his right-hand side. He'd already tagged up APOC. Castle finished off. There was a moment there where I worried for Dexter because he pulled out a nade and there was a player pushing through hut.
Yeah.
And I thought he may just get timed, but that wasn't the case. So Grayhound Gaming have only lost 2 players and they were both in the pistol round.
It's perfect scenario for Grayhound Gaming without having to heavily invest into SMGs to get that money rolling early on. They do so just by staying alive. Not going to invest into an op just yet. They're going to try to go for a bit of a bonus round here, keeping the 2 MP9s on Malta and Urcast. See if they're going to be able to hold off, though. 3 Kriegs on Avant. Pretty hefty tempo out towards Yard as well. Botched Molotov, so not going to prevent Dexter from being in that exact position. It's probably what Jiro wanted to avoid.
They were looking to annul the outside presence, but it's just backfired, and now they're going to be funneling their way into ramp, into the embracing arms of Dick Stacy with his M4. He is alone, which will be a potential banana peel on the side of Grayhound Gaming. The question is, how much damage can he do? Did land the dink onto Apoc, but he's gone down instantly to the hands of Hazard. So downstairs control is going to start to slip away, but a quick rotation from Sicko through Secret gets him into control room, and there is a second play down there in the form of Urkas with an MP9. So Avant can't take this for granted.
No, for playing with 4 alive on the CT side, still pretty steady defense for Ground Gaming. Actually going to give up positioning right now. It's going to be an opportunity for Avant to get a bomb plant down potentially. Finds the right timing.
The timing is brutal. Like when he can finish him off. Oh, it just bounces off the wall, does 1 damage. Sterling survives on 1 HP. The dream is very much real. Another player caught with a flashbang out, but it's going to connect in the eyes of Sicko. Will be sick to death of those flashbangs. Dexter with 2 and a third. And Avant will slip and slide out of the round. It was looking a little bit ominous when Sicko fell down in control room.
It really did. In-game leader, though, for Grayhound, stepping up when needed. So the bonus round pans out as well. Everything going the way of Grayhound right now. And if Dexter can get off to a hot start, that's a big, big positive for Grayhound Gaming. Touched on the desk before the game started as well. It might have actually been for the first game in total. Dexter probably, actually I would go as far as to say he's the best player on that team. He's kind of doing it all.
I think quite a few players would maybe even say one of the best players in Australia right now.
Yeah.
The way he's been playing, and obviously the IGL alongside that is a huge bonus and benefit Sicko. And speaking of the man, Dexter outside are doing a great job at thwarting this attack. Dexter in with 2, and so is Sicko. What a hold this is against the full AK stack. Not a single player falls once again.
There really hasn't been a lot of kills going the way of Avant so far. I guess if you want to reassure any sort of Avant fans back home in Australia and New Zealand, they did get off to a bit of a rough start on Overpass as well. So it's not like this is a bit of a wash already.
Sure.
But you got to love the teamwork just between Dexter and Sicko here to just make sure they have all angles covered.
I think it's not the case that they've started so well in terms of like how many rounds. It's how little frags Avant have got. They've got 4 in total, and 3 of them are in the hands of Soju. There's 3 players on 005.
It's been very one-sided so far.
At least on Overpass, in some of the rounds they were losing, they were taking 2 or 3 players here and there. There's been really nothing to write home about right now.
It's far too true, and Avant definitely knows about that as well. Dick Stacy's just going to spot 1 player, fall back. Play it as safe as possible. Doesn't seem like Avant have any plans to actually go towards ramp, though. Back towards the upper bomb side we go.
Going for those shoulder peeks as well, Urkas. He's played this so very well, allowing the rest of his team to come in. And Dexter with a double AK frag, one of which was through the vents. Sterling at least has salvaged the bomb and going to make a dart towards the B site where he should get the plant down. He doesn't have Kevlar, so aim punch is going to be an issue. And Dick Stacy's already perched up close on ramp. However, if Sterling can catch him unaware, this is still doable. And he's done just that, but that is the aim punch, and not really required anyway, because Dick Stacy just put a bullet between his eyes. However, that round, at least, Fen, they did get some kills.
Yeah, it's a start.
A few kills and a bomb plant. They go in the right direction.
You take everything you can get at this stage, really, if you're Avant, because, yeah, as you said, not a whole lot to write home about. It's kind of reflected in the odds from GG.bet as well. 1.17 in favor of Grayhound to take the map and series to follow as well, given their win on Overpass. We'll see, though. Op coming out on Sterling for the first time so far. Same can be said for Sicko, though. So the op duel might commence.
Good to see the 2 Opers throw down. We didn't really get a chance, though, when Overpass Sterling was on the T side. He didn't have the op that many times, and when he did, he wasn't really impactful. It was mainly the CT side where he shone.
So far, Seiko's been doing a pretty good job of shining here. Perched up in secret. Gives him that quick rotation towards the lower bomb side as well. Him and Dexter doing a whole lot of work here early on in yard. And again, it's Dexter just playing at the edge of the smokes. He's hit it twice now. Last time it even nets him a double kill. No damage taken as well.
Such an effective flashbang from Urcast that got 2 assists from that as well. On top of it, and Dick Stacy locking down ramp, not for the first time. Wherever Avant go, they're just running into roadblocks. Left and right. There is no free passage.
It seems like, yeah, Grayhound's individual level has definitely risen just 1 notch up from what we saw in Overpass. Much cleaner in every facet of the game so far. Tactical pause coming in from Avant. They have a lot to talk about, but the thing is that you're not even getting into the motion of having executes happening at this stage. You're just losing out to the fact that Dexter's peering around smokes. Seiko's taking aggressive positionings with the op. And, well, once you've gone towards ramp, sure, you've been able to see Dick Stacy, but more often than not, he's either able to just get out of dodge or mow you down. He's sad. Perfect flash from Urcast to net Dexter 2 easy kills.
Confidence is just surging on Grayhound, and why not? They have been in such fine form here on Nuke. Full AK-47s. Avant maybe going to try and change up the pace, or perhaps not. They did nade out Squeaky, but decided not to push behind it.
Yeah, we got to see a lot of Nuke in the Americas Minor as well. And one of the things that we saw pretty much every team have an affinity for was vent dives.
Yes.
That has not been a part of the recipe so far for Avant, but maybe they have that in the back of their mind. So far, what they've been doing in terms of standard setups has not been panning out.
They're going to go aggressive on A, but it's a bit lumbered and a bit delayed. Let's see if it works out for them. So far, so good. They got 2 kills. Urcast, though, does rattle back with a kill of his own, and APOC has to fend off Sicko on the flank. His position known. Bomb dropped out on the site. Many angles for APOC to watch out for, and the first is going to be Urcast, who will not be silenced, not be oppressed this time around. But yeah, I mean, as you say, Ven, 100% agree. We saw a lot of Nuke, and Art in particular was the master of the vent dive, constantly getting downstairs, getting around the back of them, going even ramp and up behind them. We've not seen anything like that from Avant at all.
Yeah, Art even had the cool, I guess, alteration of the vent dive as well. We throw in that similar smoke, but there's a tiny gap on between the smoke and the boxes up for Hut, right? Mm-hmm. Just allows him to peer up into heaven, get an easy pick, and actually get out of dodge, right? All those kind of variations that we've yet to see out of Avant. We might need to see them sooner than later, because right now they're getting mowed down wherever they go. Sure, fair enough, that's pistols this time, but I'd like to see at least some damage being done. So far, Dexter the only one to fall, and it's not really creating that much of a dent in the economy of Grayhound. You could look at it, Arca sitting at 14K.
Sicko's just pulverizing everybody outside. He's on 15 and 3. I believe he's on over 150 ADR and went around 9. The guy is seriously feeling it.
Talked about, you know, winning out that, I guess, personal battle between the operas, Sterling being the former opera of Grayhound as well. He's winning out that so far, at least here on Nuke. Sterling just looking to find a bit of a consolation prize before he goes down. Sicko's peering, he's keeping his eyes perched on Secret. Sterling not necessarily sure as to what, what's firing at him.
I know there's bullets whizzing past my head, but where the hell is he?
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Sicko under heaven. 9-0. Yeah, 162 ADR. It's not like the rest of them are hanging that much behind. Malta's just haven't really seen that many people. That's really his issue. He's playing that inner bomb side, is not part of the rotation either, so.
Yeah. Malta's just having a nap. He's like, wake me up when you need me, boys.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm just going to go chill for a bit. Can't even say anything against him. He's just not been needed at all. Maybe that will change in this round, though. Maybe Avant can get themselves on the board finally.
Well, it's not going to be the vent dive once again. It's back to what they've been trying to get to work, I guess. Jared leading the charge out in yard with Soju on top of Silo. Smokes go down. So we might see a quick rotation coming in from Urcast here.
He's definitely toying with the idea, but maybe not feeling compelled to move just yet as a result of Dexter's position. But Sterling is going to find him.
Yeah. Again, same setup though. Had a flash for Dexter to pierce through. So what do Avant do now that they finally actually find an opening? Feels like we've yet to be, well, yet to say that for this T side. Actually just decide to give it up completely, and they've spent a little bit of utility. Actually, the majority of their smokes just be the upper hit coming in. So Malta might be called into action.
35 seconds. Time dwindling away. Pop flash out of Squeaky. Not going to affect Sicko. Couldn't see anything. He's going to be having a few question marks there as to what the hell just happened, and now Malta's going to have his moment to shine. It's only going to be brief. Just a glimmer. Urcast, who did rotate downstairs, now going to have to come back upstairs again to try and repel this plant, or post-plant as it now stands. Dick Stacy in heaven to try and pivot off. He's going to be jump scaring Sterling, who shot out desperately and missed, and Urcast is landing some huge kills on the return to the site. All on Dick Stacy from heaven, and APOC can't handle two separate angles. It's another round to Grayhound Gaming.
It was looking so promising, but Urcast getting the drop onto Sterling out of the vents just really shifts the balance of things back in the favor of Grayhound. Now, double figures, everything is going according to the plan if you're Grayhound. This is the pivotal duel that he wins out, and the follow-up on Soju is excellent. You can tell, yeah. Teammates know to appreciate that. Another tactical pause. Again, I want to see vent dives. I want to see a bit of a different approach from Avant. Again, we've seen so many teams kind of go back to the cookie cutter smoke wall. Avant have been doing the opposite way around. They smoke out Garrett's, they smoke out in front of main, then they try to pierce through it. That's not really panning out. So maybe they do have to go back to one of the classics to find some rounds here, get down into secret, see if they can actually do something with that. Because right now, the fair few, I guess, defaults that we've seen out of them have done absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is that Grayhound don't need to respect a potential fast A hit because we just haven't seen any. So they're holding on to their utility until the end of the round, and then Avant are just struggling. They're being stalled and stymied constantly.
Yeah.
This is why when we're watching the NA minor, and we're watching the Americas minor, pardon me, with a lot of the Brazilian teams, their aggression constantly forced Molotov, smokes, HEs, and flashes in retaliation, even when they weren't pushing upper. And we're not seeing that from Grayhound. We're just seeing them sit back. The likes of Sicko feel so confident and comfortable to go for these peaks because there's no pressure on them.
Well then, for all their timeouts that they've had, clearly not being able to find an answer to what the CT side is throwing at them. Until Grayhound know how to play with an advantage as well.
Getting outside, but it's at the cost of two players, and Sterling and Soju are both hemorrhaging too. Outside is really only half the struggle on Nuke. They have found Sicko, who peeks one too many times from secret.
So, yeah, the second I mentioned how Grayhound are playing well with the advantage given to them. 2 kills are given up for not really a whole lot. Soju's made his way up until Heaven. Malta is peeking towards it. So now it comes down to timing, really. Oh no. Initially favors Soju, but the rest of the Grayhound gang on top of things. So an 11th round, and right now, well, whatever, I guess, hope we had of Avant posting a, well, halfway decent T side is, I guess, gone by the wayside, and you can see it's pretty one-sided from start to finish here.
I mean, Urcast has died one time, and we're moving through to round 12. He's 13-1.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not for lack of being involved either. No. He's been playing that main area. He's been helping out towards yard whenever needed, when Dexter and Sicko feel like it's not enough to have 2 to just mow down everything. And well, finally, some tempo being shown, and Urka's finally gonna die. So yeah, call him out for staying alive all the time. Down he goes. So do Avant into the lower bomb site.
Wouldn't you know it? They've Avant dove and they've already got way more inroads into this site than they have in previous rounds. Sure, it may still backfire, but they've got a bomb plant down. Remember, it wasn't a fantastic buy either. A 2-on-4 retake coming in.
And it's an awkward, well, position to deal with for Grayhound as well. It was while Sterling was alive. Because it doesn't matter how many smokes you throw down from that kind of an angle, you know where the bomb plant is posted up, and there's a very limited amount of angles you can actually take. So spamming through the smoke is very viable for a T-side there in an after-plant scenario. But yeah, as you said, with the wonky buy, it's just not going to be enough. This is what you would have liked to see a bit earlier on, right? And you don't necessarily need to commit 5 people through the vents for this to be a possibility. Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah, I think we spotted the same thing. We've been talking so highly about what's going right on the side of Grayhound. Jira, though, 0-12 here on Nuke.
Said he'd been struggling pretty badly with the flu.
Yeah, and I mean, he was doing great for himself on the first map of Dust 2
right.
in their best of 1 opener. Also, not just making any shame for his name on Overpass either. But again, it becomes a bit of a marathon. And if you're riddled with a flu, that just becomes gradually worse and worse. Oh, Sicko.
And he's got Dick Stacy to help him out as well, and Sicko's not slowing down. He's in it for the long haul. Oh, Avant just, I feel bad. They can't catch a break.
I really can't. But at this stage, they've been so unsuccessful and so stubborn with what they've been doing that Grayhound can pretty much throw anything at them. And it's hard to be prepared for what Sicko might be able to do. He's been posted up in yard, you know, for 90% of the rounds at this stage, but when you finally go away from it, he's feeling enough confidence to try whatever comes at him. Jira, though, get to find his first of the half. We'll say he has taken out the tissue from his nose. We saw what happened the first time he did that. Well, 25 seconds. No bomb nearby. Might just try to hold on to the weapon for now. Capitulate back towards Garage and hold on to his weapon.
It's a pretty depressing state of affairs when you're going to be 13-0 down and the best you can do is save an AK. But that is pretty much what Avant have in store. It has been one of the most dominant halves of Counter-Strike that you will see. And Grayhound Gaming strive forward. They want to put this best of 3 to rest very quickly. We said that they had points to prove here at the minor, and so far they certainly have.
Absolutely. And you can tell that this Nuke game in particular, compared to, you know, looking back at the Dust 2 affair they had versus Energy, just not taking any unnecessary chances, not doing anything silly. Sicko, yeah, just kind of taking his own breath away.
That reaction was like, oh, wait, I hit that 3rd shot? Okay, cool.
I'll take it. But yeah, Grant just playing by the book right now, and they're being rewarded for it as well. Now back to Sela we go. We haven't really seen anyone from Avant being able to do much with this. Soju greeted with an AG early on. Now we're seeing a smoke wall, a traditional one. Maybe this is going to be what nets them their first round.
Similar to the push. Oh, wait, he's come out the smoke. All right.
All right, so it's not going to be the secret dive. Again, at this point, I kind of would have wanted to see that out of Avant, but they seem really adamant about doing the same thing over and over again here, trying to get initial control, and it keeps just, well, falling on its ass.
Yeah. I mean, even if they did go for the standard, you know, downstairs from the wall of smokes, again, it just feels like it's too little too late, you know? You get into the last couple of rounds of the half.
Yeah, but again, you'd rather have 2 rounds than none, right?
True that. I don't think that's going to happen, though, Ven. I don't want to be pessimistic, but this is... I would not be surprised if this went 15-0.
Well, we've done what we can just trying to stay positive, really, in the 5-power matchup that we had.
At some point, though, realism just kicks you in the ass, and it's like, yeah, but nothing's really given us any hope for a round.
Yep. So right now, Hazard stuck on ramp with the bomb. Oh, Sicko's going to actually miss a shot for once, so that's a start. Oh, he knows he's so screwed as well. You can see he tries to bait out the shot initially, but the backup's there, and Grayhound is just not making mistakes at this stage.
No, and they're also doing a fantastic job of getting avenge kills.
Yeah.
Whenever someone falls, there's always someone there to pick up the slack, and Jira's rough half continues.
It's so reflected again when you look at the ADRs, right? I mean, we've already touched on multi. He's playing the inner bomb side. He's not allowed to be a part of the fun. But as you said, right, like, you wouldn't have those kind of numbers unless people are there to trade for each other. So you do get, you know, 2 successful opening kills from one player. The second he goes down, there's somebody else to respond. Well, finally some pace. Sicko still, though, at the right place at the right time. Just mopping up kills. Multi even gets in on the action for once. He's going to net himself 2, so that's pretty much the most action he's seen the entire half.
It's good to see that Jira has got himself a kill. At the very least, it's the only one of the half, and we have a clean sweep, a flawless half of Counter-Strike, a 15-0. They don't come around often, but when they do, it's pretty brutal to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go back to, I guess, the olden days, you would have expected this on Nuke, but not, I guess, the modern-day Nuke as we see it. But what a display from Grayhound. And now, well, we'll have to go to a commercial break. But when we come back, we'll see if Grayhound can actually do what nobody thought could be done.
Do not adjust your monitors, ladies and gentlemen. That is the correct scoreline. It's 15-0 to Grayhound Gaming on Nuke. The choice of Avant, believe it or not. It is a map that we knew Grayhound were very comfortable with and often do like to play themselves, but that was nothing short of a complete demolition that we just witnessed.
I guess we kind of got the answer whether or not, you know, Grayhound gave it their all the last time they played Nuke on this very map versus Avant. Yeah, that's just wholeheartedly no. I do think, though, that Avant definitely had some opportunities to, well, do a whole lot better. Again, we saw them being pretty set in their ways as to how they wanted to play it, and it's fair enough that you want to go with what you've practiced, but at a certain stage, you have to realize that you've been figured out, and you need to make adaptations accordingly. And we never really saw it. We saw a couple, well, 1 or 2 attempts at event dive, again, mostly when it was ecos or just really wonky half buys. In full buy rounds, we never really saw the tempo being switched up in a fashion that we would have liked to see.
It was a disappointing half. Jira, let's see if he can get some more kills to his name. Has whiffed a whole bunch of USP kills. It could be over already. We could be in for the rare 16-0 unless Sterling, Soju on 1 HP or Apoc can come up clutch. And so far, it's starting to slip away alarmingly fast. Sterling's been dinked and finished. It's all on Apoc. With the USP in hand at range, is at least going to best Dexter. So taking down the IGL of Grayhound Gaming as he looks to make a move through main, which of course the terrorists are going to know all about. They've dealt with him, and it is the perfect map. It's a 16-0.
Yeah. If there was ever a question about who's going to be the favorite going into this minor, I think we got our answer right there. I mean, keep in mind, Avant handled 5 power pretty easily in their first matchup, and that's one of the, I guess, 4 assumed favorites that we had for this, and now they just trounce Avant completely on Nuke here. So Grayhound, yet to have a bit of a hiccup. All the other teams really that we expected to do well have had so already, and we're just into round 2, oh, round 3 I guess now.
Yeah, when you think that Tyloo have already lost a map against Red Alpha, MVP lost to them earlier.
Yep.
I think Grayhound are head and shoulders above the rest of these teams right now.
It really seems that way, and I mean, keep in mind for Katowice, they were the third place, I guess, play-in team from the region, so you would have only expected them to improve upon what they did there, and it really seems like, well, Seiko obviously being brought in for Sterling Key has definitely found his stride. We saw that on Nuke time and time again. It's fun to see. Like, we're seeing improvement from the side. It seems like Neelam has brought something that they could work with as well.
Yeah.
With him coming into the team.
I was very impressed with Sicko, I've got to say. Yeah. I haven't seen much of him in the past, but I was very impressed. He seems to be like that sort of combat AWPer that we talk about often, likes to get in the face, up in the grill of the enemy team, and he didn't shy away from taking like the longer range encounters, even with the AUG as well outside. He was super, super strong. But yeah, we're going to head over to the stage where Smix has an interview with Grayhound.
Thank you very much, guys. Congratulations, Dexter. You guys are through to the playoffs. And not only were you guys considered the favorite to be able to move forward, not just to the playoffs, but of course out of the minor, but what does it feel like to do so with the 16-0 under your belt as well?
It feels really good because Nuke has been one of our weaker maps in practice. So coming into it with a 16-0 is surprising, so it's good.
Talk about Nuke, because the last time you played Avant, they were the ones that beat you guys 16-10, but this time was a completely different picture. Could not have gone better for you guys.
Oh yeah, well, after we lost to them, we just had a massive revamp of how we played our CT sides, and then coming into this game, everything was just prepared, pretty much.
And we definitely saw that with that scoreline. Were you surprised that they let Overpass through, considering it is one of your better maps?
Not really, because last time we stomped them on Inferno, so I think they were going to change it around, so it was kind of expected we were going to play Overpass.
Well, talk about what the addition of Seiko has done for you and the lineup. What has he allowed in terms of opening up potential for the team that maybe wasn't possible with Sterling?
Well, he just does whatever he wants, and then he's just super aggressive, so it's just just let him do his thing, and then he talks a lot, he's a chill dude, so it just makes everything good.
Well, now moving forward to that playoffs, I'm sure that you're thinking about getting that spot to the major. Is there any potential team that you might face from the other group that worries you at all?
Not too much. It's just ourselves that worries us pretty much. So hopefully we're just coming into it strong, and then any team could be anything, really.
Well, you certainly showed a strong performance today. Congratulations. Once again, back to you guys at the desk.